right, so I'll go over a couple of projects that IPS has worked on, just to give you some examples of what we have done. This is a project from a while back. I don't believe that any projects that I'm talking about I personally worked on, but I have heard of them from folks at the company. So this was a vending machine for beer at stadiums. I figured college students, I'm sure that you love beer. And some of the constraints for this design, right? In a sports stadium, it is actually illegal to sell beer in an unopened can because a sealed can of beer or any liquid really is very dense, and if that is thrown as a projectile, that can seriously injure someone. So any beverage sold at a sports stadium is always open as it is sold to the consumer. This was meant to be an automated system that stored however many cans of beer it was able to, refrigerated that, and then had a built-in payment system, a system to open the can and then serve that to the user. Some of the design constraints were it needed to be wheelchair accessible, so a lot of the controls were lower down so that someone coming up to it with a wheelchair would be able to grab the beer, pay for it. It had to have built-in refrigeration. I believe the original goal was for the beer to be loaded in, and by the time it made it out to the front, it would have reached a certain cold temperature that was considered cold enough for a beer. But yeah, and then the top countertop was kind of meant as a bar area where people could gather around the actual machine and enjoy beer with their friends. Next, so this is more for the electrical folks here. This was a collaboration between both the mechanical, all the mechanical, electrical, embedded, and software teams. Software, I believe there was some mobile payment stuff that needed to happen. The mechanical team designed the entire machine. The electrical team worked on the electronics and integrated the payment system, and the firmware team worked on the payment system and actuation of any motors and other things. And there was a big collaboration between the mechanical and the systems, electrical, and embedded team for actually creating the mechanism to open a can of beer, because we did not want to have something that punctured the top that is somewhat unsanitary when you have something that goes into the can. So we wanted to be able to open it using the actual tab on the top of the can. This is more for the electrical folks, although there is some firmware that I'll go over. But Leviton is a big company known for their electrical products. They make things like outlets for big industrial 600-volt three-phase AC connectors. In this specific case, this was the latter. It was a connector that was meant for large factory machinery. It is, as I said, 600 volts, three-phase AC. So it's really high power, and we help with the design of the connector. In conjunction with the connector, we also help with the design of a safety box that the connector plugs into, and the box indicates the status of the input, status of the output, and any faults that might be in the system. So one of the issues that you have when you have such high power electronics is if you unplug it without first turning it off, there is arcing that is very dangerous to the person who's unplugging it. And Leviton wanted to make a system where they are able to detect even if the switch is flipped off, there is still power applied to the output, because sometimes the switches do fail. So the box had some status indicators on it, and it was also integrated to go to report that data to an app. So someone could go on their phone and check the status of every machine on the floor if they needed to. Then there was, I guess this is a little bit more for the software folks. I'm not 100% certain about the exact details of the software work, but this was an exercise mirror. It has a built-in display, but it functions as a mirror. And it's, I believe, kind of similar to Peloton, where it has some, I guess, content producers that have different exercise routines that you can watch on the mirror, and then use that to exercise and work in tandem with the person presenting that to. I believe there was a lot of software work regarding getting the cloud services working and connecting the stored videos of people exercising, sending that down to the mirror and integrating with that. And then finally, a big project that IPS is very, very proud of was with Steinway, who are really big music company. I'm not sure how many of you are musicians, but Steinway, they made awesome pianos, really expensive pianos, world-renowned pianos. And they wanted to make a player piano that is able to pretty closely replicate what a person would play. So normally a player piano would just press the same notes. They wanted to be able to replicate the exact velocity at which a person is striking the keys. And they wanted to be able to record what a person was playing and then play it back. So this was a big collaboration between the electrical team, the embedded team, and the software team. We designed pretty much all the hardware for actually playing the notes. We designed the system that integrates with an iPad to take music and then replay it out of the piano. And then more recently, the software team worked on a new feature for this piano where they are able to stream live performances throughout the world. So, for example, if Lady Gaga is playing the piano at Madison Hall in New York City, someone in Europe is able to listen to her performance live on their own piano, right? So, or similarly, right, someone in Vienna could be teaching someone in California how to play piano and demonstrate ladies' notes, and those notes would be played on the other side on the same piano. Yeah, this is very big, very impressive project with a lot of work from all the teams at IPS.